Hello and welcome to your new moon in Virgo tarot reading. This is a collective reading for everyone. So this reading may resonate with you. It may not. That is okay. This is a collective reading. And today we're going to be utilizing our Light Seers Tarot deck. And then, of course, because it is a new moon, we are going to be pulling a card from our Sacred Rebels deck. So we'll go ahead and we'll put our Sacred Rebel Oracle deck over here. And we're going to go ahead and focus on our actual spread for today. So today we have actually a 6-card spread. We are going to be moving in a clockwise position in our spread itself and the layout of it, because this is a new moon, so we're moving forward into a new moon. So that is how I lay out my spreads. Today we are going to be touching on 6 particular areas for the new moon, 6 questions, 6 cards, and 6, of course, are representing that of a harmonious number. So Virgos are definitely that of a balanced energetic sign. They are the earth sign, and they are definitely known for organization, for creation, for taking leadership. They're also known for being very critical, judgmental, and hard, not only on others, but on themselves. So today we are going to get some clarity. And again, if this resonates with you, that's fantastic. If this doesn't, that's okay. There, I'm sure, will be other readings that may resonate with you. Now, I am going to go ahead and lay out the questions down below. So if you wanted to go ahead and do this spread yourself for your own personal new moon reading for new moon in Virgo, I highly encourage that. If you would like to go ahead and schedule a reading with me and do a personal new moon reading, I'll go ahead and I'll drop my information down below as well. So let's go ahead and get started. I love this deck. If you are a lover of tarot, do you have a favorite deck? Comment down below what your favorite deck is. If you're very new to tarot, then definitely comment down below and let me know what drew you to this particular reading for this new moon in Virgo. I'd be very curious to hear where all that came from. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to start with the first question. The first question is, what is really wanting to ground into this new moon cycle? What is wanting your higher self wanting you to ground in this new moon cycle? Okay, there's quite a lot. So we're going to go ahead and we're just going to roll them out because this is a collective. We're going to go ahead and pull all of these out here below. So as you can see, we've got quite a lot of cards coming out as to what is wanting to ground within you. So as we look upon these, we look at and we see the order that they came in, right? So ultimately what is wanting to ground within us is the wheel. It's a new life. It's a new cycle of life. It's a new perspective. It's a healed karmic situation. So what's really wanting to ground within you this new moon cycle is really just this change, this welcome change of a new life that has that you've been working through. The King of Swords comes through. We know that swords are representing that of the thought process, our communication, our mindset, how we communicate with ourselves and others. And the King of Swords is extremely powerful in how he communicates. He's very knowledgeable as well as filled with wisdom, and he's able to communicate this across very clearly. He is highly respected, and while not so emotional and fun and playful as the other kings in the tarot, he is very pragmatic. He's very aware. He's very conscious, and he really loves engaging in conscious conversation. So what is wanting to ground within this new moon cycle with you? The wheel, so a new karmic existence, a new cycle of life, a new paradigm, and more awareness in that, more conscious awareness in that paradigm, more clarity in this new moon cycle. So allowing this new moon cycle in Virgo to allow you to get the clarity as to what it is that you would like to create this new life about. The King of Pentacles comes because he is the earth sign, and the King of Pentacles is the King Midas this one. He's the jovial king. He's the one that's very loving, very warm, very caring, really is nurturing. His wife, the Queen of Pentacles, is the most nurturing queen in the deck. So he is very solid. He's very grounded. He's very successful. He's really living his human experience, this tangible 3D earth experience as the King of Pentacles. He's living that in his luxurious lifestyle. And luxury could mean different things to each one of us. So what is it that you are trying to ground into this new moon cycle within yourself? And this new moon is a new paradigm, more conscious awareness, and then of course the jovial, the nurturing, successful aspect of it. The Ace of Cups comes because that's also a new overflowing of love. You have a desire to ground in a new perspective on love. What does love mean to you? How do you love? How do you receive love? Where are you empty within your emotional awareness and your emotional frequency? And where are you overflowing? Where are you giving and receiving? And how are you in your love state? So when we have these four, what you're really looking to ground into this new moon cycle is a new perspective on a new paradigm, on this new life cycle that's happening, more awareness and grounded connection with both of it, the conscious awareness to understand the decisions to make, to have a successful, jovial, nurturing experience filled with love, filled with excitement, filled with adventure, and that adventure in an emotional expansion. So we have here the Eight of Swords and the Devil, and they come through together because what's also you would like to ground into this new moon cycle is the release of any victimhood energy that you have, right? The Eight of Swords is that we didn't place ourselves in this bind, but we can get ourselves out of this bind. We see in this particular perspective of this card, the artwork, she's looking at herself in a mirror. So she is seeing herself as bound by all of this pain and trauma when ultimately she is able to really heal and transmute that. And the Devil comes to remind you as to which particular aspect are you going to feed of yourself. Are you going to feed the clarity of what it is that you desire, or are you going to feed the illusion and the delusion of the consistent pain? Are you going to maintain and remain in a cycle where you have the abilities, the strength, the awareness to step out of that basket, step out of that tub, become clearer in what it is? And a lot of the times, the Devil not only represents the aspect of what it is that you are feeding, but also where fun and pleasure can come in. So it looks like what you're trying to ground into this new moon cycle, again, as a collective, whether you resonate with this or not, is a new cycle, a new paradigm of cycle. And also see its luck. We have the dice right here, right? Anytime we think of the dice, of course, we tend to go to Vegas. Vegas, we think of casino, we think of luck, right? But it's a toss of the dice. You never know what's going to happen. But in this particular case, you're asking, you're really wanting to ground in a new conscious awareness, a new clarity of the decisions that you make that bring about a successful, calming, grounded, nurturing experience with some structure, of course, because we all know Virgos love their lists. Virgos love the organization aspect, but don't get stuck in the organization aspect. It's really important to continue to make those action steps versus just the planning of it. The Ace of Cups comes because you are really desiring to ground in a new awareness of your emotional expansion, of your love. What does love mean to you? You're getting clarity on that and allowing yourself to start fresh in a new perspective of love for yourself. Also, what you're wanting to ground in is the release of any trauma or pain that has held you back, whether it's very large or very small. Remember, when we heal, we can heal in multiple different small fibers. There could be large attachment cords. It depends on where we're at with our own conscious awareness, where we're at with the love for ourselves, where we're at with the work that we're doing in our perspective and paradigm. But you'd like to ground in some fun and pleasure as you go about this healing process. And that is an opportunity for you. So the next question, and again, I'm going to go ahead and we're going to go in a clockwise motion. Wasn't expecting to have all those cards come through, but that's the way Tarot enjoys working. So the next question that we really want to know is, where are you being too hard on yourself? Where am I being too hard on myself? Virgos are all about being extremely hard on themselves. It's kind of part of that perfectionist perspective or ideology, that very critical aspect of completion and successful and perfectionism. And a lot of times we're so hard on ourselves. So where are you being hard on yourself? Okay, so we have the Eight of Pentacles coming through. The Eight of Pentacles is that of the very active working card, but it's also the mastery card. When we look at eights, we have to also remember that 8 is a very spiritual number. 8 is that of the universal support. If you flip the 8 onto your side, you have the lemniscate, or the infinity symbol, which is that of infinity, right? Infinite support. The eights are very abundant, making they are the creative aspect. They are the really the manifesting the abundance. It is a very abundant number. And the Eight of Pentacles is really all about doing the work, mastering your craft. So where are you being too hard on yourself is mastering your craft, the work that you're doing. We have to remember that it goes in stages. When we learn more, when we become more consciously aware, and we allow ourselves to receive and be open for opportunities from any direction, then we're able to actually level up and have more clarity on our purpose and what it is that we are manifesting. Remember, we are the master manifester, and this card is representation of that. But what are we manifesting? Ourselves. We are our biggest and greatest manifestation. So this new moon cycle, what are you being so hard on where are you being too hard on yourself? Is the mastering of you, the work that you are doing, your purpose, the work that you are putting in, the crafts that you are mastering, whether it's your business, whether it's a job, whether it's a creation, a dance, whatever it is that you are working on, the tangible working aspect of in this world, in this 3D time space. You're being very hard on yourself, so cut yourself a little bit of slack. You're learning these things, and as you learn, you will continue to get better, and you will level up the chain within your knowledge, your awareness, as well as the grounded success of it, and finding the fun in the work that you are doing instead of trying to find the perfection that isn't there, is how you're going to be able to really level up and shift your paradigm. So the next question is, where am I being too critical and judgmental of others? As we all know, the Virgos, I myself am a Virgo moon. So along with being a Scorpio and a Pisces, my perfectionism aspect comes to light. And when I am finding criticism and judgment within myself, then I know that then my response tends to be critical and judgmental of others. And so, okay, so where are we? Where are we being too critical and judgmental of others? Here we have the Knight of Pentacles, the Knight of Wands. As you can see, the Knight of Wands in this particular deck, she's extremely happy. She's having so much fun. She's letting loose. She's very free. She's tapped into the resonance, the sound. We have a very orange card, so this is a very sacral chakra card, very all about creativity, all about passion, all about adventure and excitement. Her horse is extremely excited, having a great time. There's this freedom and this flow that is happening. So where are you being critical and judgmental of others is, where are you critical of people who are living their freedom? Are you being judgmental and critical of people in your life or that you see in social media, which we all know we have to be very careful with social media because typically it's the highlight reels. But what are you seeing? Where is it that you are seeing people enjoying their lives and you're being very judgmental and critical of it? And here's a great question to ask yourself if this resonates with you. Am I being judgmental and critical of the freedom that they are living, of the joy, the happiness, the adventure, the excitement, because they are experiencing and expressing a part of the lives that you want to experience and express in your life experience? Are they exuding adventure? Are they exuding courage, and you want to exude courage and excitement and adventure? See, typically when we are critical and judgmental of others, and it is because we are critical and judgmental of ourselves. And so when we are being too critical and judgmental of somebody else, living a freedom life where freedom is perspective, success is perspective, nurturing and joy, everything is a perspective based off of where it is that we desire to have an experience in our life. And so if you are finding somebody living a free life and experiencing joy and happiness, and even if it's something that you wouldn't find joyful or fun or exciting, but they are, and you find yourself critical and judgmental of them, where can you redirect that energy back into yourself and get curious? Get curious as to why am I being so judgmental? Where am I holding myself back? Which then takes us to our next question. What is holding me back from this level up? What is holding me back from a leveling up that I know I can feel has been coming? Interesting. I can feel has been coming. So what is it that continues to hold me back from that level up? Here we have the Page of Wands. So much wand energy coming through on what we're critical of others and judgmental of others, but then what's also holding us back. It all kind of flows and makes sense. Here we have the Page of Wands, right? She's just learning her freedom. She's jumping up, she's tossing her wand in the air, she's got her hair going, she's in circles, so she's getting into the flow. Right? She's getting into her circular flow. She's jumping up. She's excited. She's just starting to find her confidence within her choices, her spiritual connection, her flow, her sacral intuition, her sexuality, her sensuality. She's just starting to find confidence within herself. So what is holding you back from your level up is the confidence within your intuitive flow, within your desires and expectations. See how we have more of a yellow card right here? Yellow is representing that of our solar plexus. Because of our solar plexus, that is our I am, our confident. That is our knowing of who we are. I am that, comma, I am. And so what is holding you back is this confidence of knowing who you are, why you are, what you are. And just a slight reminder that we are continuously evolving and spiraling into new experiences of ourselves. Each cycle, we have a new paradigm thought process and cycle we live. And so in this particular new moon cycle, what has been holding you back and what will hold you back is the confidence that you refuse or that you lack to exude because you are afraid of whether looking a certain way, being called silly, or afraid of failing, when ultimately the only aspect of failing that can happen is if not even taking that chance in the first place. Wands are that of taking a chance, taking a risk. The work that you are doing is a risk. Eights are that of a risk energy, but you're fully supported. So, where are you being too hard on yourself is the purpose and taking a risk in the work on you. Where are you being judgmental and critical of others is people's freedom that they are living, that you have this desire to live. And what is holding you back is this lack of confidence within yourself. So the work that needs to move through of removing this victim is finding the fun in it, removing this trauma, transmuting that. Again, you may not have been the one to put you in that experience that has put shame, pain, or trauma within you, has kept you wrapped up in fear. But you are the one that is strong enough, capable, confident, and has the courage enough to move you forward and step out and really fly and jump out. Because what does await you is that adventure, that fun, that passion, that excitement. So how can you let go of that, huh? How can you let go of the fear, of the shame? How can you let go of this contracted self where you find the lack of confidence or courage? How can you let go of that fear, right? How can you let go of that fear that helps you tap into that freedom that you desire, that helps you tap into the confidence of the mastering of your craft and yourself? The High Priestess comes. So the High Priestess comes. First of all, the The High Priestess is that of the two, which is a duality aspect. It's your eyes are open and your eyes are closed. And if we take a really good look into this picture, we see that her eyes are closed and opened, as well as her third eye. So the High Priestess is that of intuition. You already know the answer to this question of how to let go. You already know what you need to do to step into this leap and to leap into this joyous aspect of yourself. The High Priestess comes to say, she's like if you were to, let's say, come to me for a reading, and I put the cards down on the table and I look at you, you already know just from the look and the feeling and the frequency that is being represented in those cards what the answer is. Your higher self knows, your subconscious knows, but consciously you are keeping your eyes closed to seeing it. You haven't gotten to that point because you're still in this state of blindfoldedness, where you are working through this releasing and letting go of what binds you and what is binding this confident, empowered self. So the High Priestess comes to give you advice on really tapping into your meditation, tapping into your intuition, tapping into connecting with your guides, to sitting and listening to yourself, listening for your higher self. Feeling in the gut within yourself, feeling in your solar plexus, feeling and connecting that. We have the pink and the green. When we look at the green, we understand that that's also our heart chakra. But when we look at the pink, if there's another smaller chakra, which is on your heart chakra, which is just another layer up, which is also a pink color, typically, which will match our rose quartz, right? So this pink and green is listening to our heart. It is also the balance of both light and shadow within yourself. You recognize that there is a part of you that you are feeding that is keeping you in this bound state. And because you have actually tapped onto this video, you're watching to this point, you're curious as to what's going on. You already know the answer. So when you allow yourself to sit quietly, when you allow yourself to become aware of the conscious thoughts and how you are speaking to yourself, remember, words are spells. So the words that you speak to yourself and to others, you are casting spells upon yourself and others. So how are you casting upon yourself? Are you casting love and awareness and consciousness and connection to yourself? Are you casting fear, pain? Are you casting these thoughts of and these words of trauma or negativity that keep you in this lower frequency, which is blocking your solar plexus from full expression? Your High Priestess self will know. So this is also for those of you who are in the week before your menstruation cycle. This is called the High Priestess week. This means that your intuition is really tuned in, tapped in, tuned in, turned on. And you are really able to get clarity and sit with yourself. You're definitely more internal. You have more desires to do more internal things. You tend to find yourself maybe tapping into more of your witchy self or your herbalist self or your more earth grounded self. And especially with this new moon in Virgo, this would be a great time to go out and sit on Gaia and breathe with her. Allow her to pull out what doesn't serve you and pull out any energy that doesn't support you having that clarity, and allow her to fuel and feed into you the love and the joy that she is, to help you tap into the clarity of this new moon cycle and what it is that you are desiring to manifest. So that takes us to ultimately, what is the next steps to do? What are the next steps that you can take? Let's go ahead and get a clarity on that one, right? Yes, clarity on that one. Excellent. So as we see here, what next steps can you take? The Tower comes up first. And I love the Tower description in this deck, right? We have this, it's a big, tall tower through, it's like a tree. We have the lightning happening. We've got the nuts out here. We've got the squirrel right here. We've got the butterflies. The butterflies are very symbolic. We understand that butterflies represent that of transformation, of transmutation. We have the orange butterflies, which means that this is ultimately down into our sacral aspect of ourselves, our root, and our sacral. We have this tower shaken because ultimately the tower is all of the foundational aspects that we have been programmed with, but they're no longer working for us. Remember, what we are wanting to ground in this new moon cycle is a new life cycle paradigm, a new perspective, a new awareness, an opportunity for risk, a balance and a flow and a harmony of as above, so below, as within, so without. And so for us to be able to really get through and pull off, we have to have our ground shaken. And that means we have an experience and awareness. So what are the next steps to take is to allow yourself to have a tower moment. We tend to bypass these, and not all tower moments are these big, huge, grand experiences, like losing a job or a death of a loved one or anything like that. A tower moment is any moment in our life where the foundational programming of our ideology is shaken up because you had an emotional response and got curious in that emotional response to then dive deep as to why you are having that emotional response. And that right there, my beautiful rising humans, is really how that tower moment happens. The tower moment could be that emotional response because something shook you to your core, to the foundation of you. So the Page of Swords comes with this because the Page of Swords, pages are that of a new a new level, right? So we have the minor arcana, the ace, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10s. Then the court cards are part of the minor, but they're almost like a transition, right? We've got the page, knight, queen, king, and then we have our major arcana. But the Page of Swords comes as a new thought process, a new awareness. We see that they're holding all of these light bulbs, right? There's all of these conscious pops that are happening. She's studying, she's reading, she's getting curious as to why there was an emotional response, because the swords, which are that of our air signs, right? Gemini, Aquarius, Libra. Typically, when an air sign gets emotional, they want to bypass that. However, there's no time to bypass that. So if you find yourself in a state of continuously wanting to bypass an emotional response, this is where you can start working on really starting to manifest and experience a new adventurous life filled with joy and fun and pleasure and nurturing and awareness and love. And it's really ultimately of getting curious and getting clear as to why you're having these responses. The Page of Swords also comes as the next step as to let your defenses down. When we are going through a healing process and we are allowing ourselves to actually become awakened and aware of what it is that we are learning and coming up to another paradigm, a new perspective, we tend to be very defensive because it's a natural egoic response to hold on to the programming that we have experienced, because that programming is safe for us. It's our comfort zone. And when our comfort zone is rocked, we tend to get defensive because then it's like, well, everything that we know has a different shift, has a different perspective. But when you allow yourself to get curious, when you allow yourself to study yourself, dive into these things, become aware and in tune and in one within your frequency, meditate along with that. And meditation doesn't always have to be sitting silent. Meditation can be walking. Meditation can be watering your lawn. Meditation can be going out and hugging a tree or talking to the flowers that you are growing. It could be taking a shower in the dark with the candles lit. It could be anything where you are allowing yourself to step into a state of non-resistance. And that is going to help you find clarity, help you remove some of this pain and trauma to become more empowered. And that is going to allow you to gain that confidence to really step forward and live that free, adventurous, dynamic, fun, exciting life. And then you'll have that confidence build up as you continue to master yourself and really let go of being so hard on yourself and others when you are doing the work, and remembering that this is a human life experience. Perfection does not exist. And that's so important to remember in this new moon in Virgo energy. So as we finish up this reading, we're going to go ahead and pull a deck from the Sacred Rebels Oracle deck. And why why do I pull a card from the Sacred Rebels on new moons? Because this deck is a very magical deck that really is centered around creation, living a unique life. And I find that the messages that come through during the new moon really encourage and help us to tap into this creative aspect as we are setting our intentions. We're getting clear on the intentions that we want, and we are allowing ourselves to take a risk. All right, jump into work that we want to do, trust the life cycle itself, trust our heart, trust our intuition, get curious, explore things within ourselves. So this new moon in Virgo is a very powerful one for everybody, but if you resonate with this specifically, it's definitely very impactful and empowering for you. So we have two Sacred Rebel Oracle decks, cards that have come about for us, which is fantastic. And they both really resonate with Virgo as well. You see right there, going beyond the normal. Virgos can tend to be very rigid in structure. Right? Virgos can tend to be very, I'm going to write this list and I have to make sure I check everything off my list. But when you go beyond the norm, when you push outside of the box, when you think outside of the box, the gears start turning, right? We see here, we see her looking up. Right? We see her, we've got this golden light bulb. This golden light bulb, it's the golden idea. Right? We've got the key coming out of her mouth. We've got the third eye as the gears turning, as the clock's ticking, right? We have all of these buttons because buttons are, they attach things, right? Buttons are the circular attachment. They attach one side to the next. They attach one thing to another. And so with all of this gear work, with thinking outside the box, with going beyond the normal thought processes, going beyond the normal reactions, the normal responses, going beyond the normal patterns and routines can throw you outside of the box. And that right there, especially a Virgo going outside of the routine, can shaken up a foundation and can stir about an emotional response and then cause curiosity to start to get clear as to where you're holding yourself in a limited box and not allowing yourself to think expansively because it's unsafe or too adventurous. Yes? And then, of course, we have the free from judgment, free to love. We have the green card here, green representing our heart chakra, but also that of the earth energy. Green, Gaia, earth, the trees, the grass, the plants, all of this green coming through. But the trees, the grass, Gaia itself, that is love. That is a connection from our heart chakra that we are able to connect with earth and life itself. Free from judgment. If that isn't Virgo, holy guacamole, right? If that isn't fucking Virgo, then that is ultimately telling you it's okay. Stop judging what it is that you love. You may find something that you love that could be outside the box, that could be completely adventurous and a risk. But stop judging yourself on that. Stop judging yourself on the creations and the work that is pulling you to do. You find yourself so hard on yourself because the work that you're doing either isn't perfect at this point in time, or you're judging yourself from actually wanting to do that type of work. And what this is saying is free yourself from that judgment. Allow yourself to love from your heart chakra. Allow yourself to tap into your heart chakra and your intuition. Follow that. Allow yourself to relax. You're human. Humans are not perfect. Perfection is an ideology made up. It does not exist. Perfection is an illusion. Control is an illusion. Time is an illusion. Everything is happening in this moment, in the present now. So this new moon reading in Virgo is really all about what you're wanting to ground. This new moon is a new perspective, a new ideology, new ideas on life, taking a risk, trusting that risk, having more conscious awareness, clarity on it, being able to communicate clearly to yourself and others, wanting to ground in and manifest, having a success, whatever success means for you, whether that's in love, whether that's in money, whether that's in power. And when I say power, I mean empowerment, self-empowerment, right? Which is what we come across in this aspect. You want to ground in the fun and the pleasure of letting go of anything that holds you down. You're ready to let it go. You're going to stop being so hard on yourself on the work that you are doing, and the work that you are doing not only for the purpose and the physical work of human involvement and contribution, but the work that you are doing within yourself. You, remember, you are your biggest, most important manifestation. Cut yourself some slack, have some grace, right? Stop being so critical and judgmental of others who are living their life, but remember to get curious, right? You're seeing in them what it is that you desire. So that's where that judgment comes in. So you're not really judging them, you're judging the part of you inside of yourself that is not expressing the life experience that you see them doing it, and you are desiring that. So how can you do that? How can you what is holding you back is that lack of confidence. It's that solar plexus work that you need to work on. And how do you do that is really tap in. You know the answer. You already know the response, or else you wouldn't be still watching this. It's getting clearer and clearer and clearer. And the way about it, your next steps is to really stop bypassing the emotional response that's happening. Allow that emotional response to shake your foundation. Allow that ideology, that tower to crumble. Because then there's transformation and beauty and growth and connection and clarity and inspiration happening. Remember to think outside the box. That is how you combat this rigid structure and perfection ideology that Virgo holds. And release any judgment on yourself and others, and allow yourself to really follow your heart. What a beautiful, beautiful new moon reading. If you resonated with this, I would love to hear down below. Definitely comment down below. If you didn't, that's okay too. It may resonate with you a little bit later, and come back for another reading, and that other one may resonate with you. But I hope you have a beautiful new moon cycle. Remember that all of this, everything that is happening for you. Your life is here, excited for you, with you, wanting to co-create with you. And all of these are really powerful messages to help you become higher in frequency, and not in a higher hierarchy, but more aligned and in tuned, in alignment with the ideal, most desired version of yourself. I hope you have a beautiful, powerful, magical new moon. And remember, there is only one you. We need, desire, and want your magic. Have a beautiful new moon. Thank you.